Since the Chinese Communist Party started the reform and opening, up in 1978, China's economy has grown at an incredible speed, and society has stayed relatively stable. This kind of stability is almost unheard of in thousands of years of East Asian history. Sure, most people still struggle to meet basic needs, and healthcare isn't T-grade, but by historical standards, life in China today is better than it has ever been. But if we look back over the past 3,500 years, periods where the general population had enough to eat and avoided famine are surprisingly short, less than 300 years in total. The rest of the time, poverty, scarcity, and social unrest were the norm. Historically, China has had a hard time naturally forming a peaceful, stable, and prosperous society. This isn't just because of autocratic rule. It's also cultural. Generations of social conditioning have made people more timid, self-centered, and divided, which affects both stability and productivity. At the heart of any society is its culture, its beliefs and values. The main reason China has struggled socially isn't just politics, it's the collapse of a shared life philosophy. The average person often lacks a framework for meaning beyond survival and status. For much of history, Chinese life philosophy has revolved around pursuing basic needs, comfort, status, and power, the ultimate goal. Becoming a person above others, someone who isn't oppressed and can dominate or suppress others. This mindset comes from thousands of years of smallholder society and the Confucian hierarchy. Even Chinese surnames carry history. Names like Huang Li or Chen didn't just appear randomly. They reflect centuries of social hierarchy, domination, and oppression. East Asia has a good climate and rich resources, but historically famine and unrest were common. Why? Low productivity. This comes from social disunity and the inability of most people to fully develop their talents. Compare that to East Asians in free countries like the US. Many have comfortable lives through hard work, and some have even won Nobel Prizes. The lesson talent isn't the problem, environment and culture are. Hierarchy and obedience have been emphasized for centuries, which discourages innovation and risk-taking. Ordinary people's talents remain underused, leaving society inefficient. Many Chinese aim to climb the social ladder and get rich. Men often desire multiple wives, women seek wealth and status, and rulers are no different. Most people can only envy others. They rarely get opportunities to expand their own power. Spiritual pursuits are rare. Self-interest and indifference dominate a residue of famine and turmoil, reinforced by language and institutions. Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea have prospered, but their success heavily depends on external support, especially from the US. Remove that support, and these systems become fragile, with moral values thinning over time. Language is also a barrier. Chinese language speakers often struggle to learn Western languages, limiting communication and innovation. The writing system itself can restrict vocabulary, emotional nuance, and expression. China seems stable, but this stability is fragile. People who grew up in the 1990s remember robbery and violent crime were T-rare. Today, billions of surveillance cameras track everything. Privacy is minimal, and information is tightly controlled. Achievements from reform and opening up are often credited to government planning and diligence. But history shows that obedience and hard work alone rarely lead to comfort or happiness. Authoritarian systems often produce corruption, inefficiency, and injustice. Historically, China's brief prosperity often relied on external order like the Tang and Song dynasties, which benefited as suppliers of cheap labor. Modern China also depends on global markets, tech, and capital. Its brightest moments have often come as the world's factory, with its fate in foreign hands. Centuries without freedom have left Chinese people with little sense of what freedom really means. Without freedom, you lose control over your fate, the ability to realize personal value, and the capacity to contribute to civilization. As the US and the West reduce China's role in global supply chains, mass unemployment, vacant offices, idle factories, and business closures could trigger economic decline. Chinese society might revert to historical norms, scarcity, unrest, migration, while the CCP faces major risks, in the next 20 years. East Asian refugee waves could become a global focus. Human smuggling, cybercrime, drug and human trafficking, organ trade, and violence may challenge the world. Without cultural and institutional reform, crises are inevitable.